fuels will run out in 60 years. This is what I said every Saturday morning in high school during the debate season. I would follow this statement with what I thought was my master plan for developing clean energy. But when my opponents got up to speak, they didn't argue with my ideas or my plan. Instead, they often said, "We're just high school students. Nothing we do will make a difference." Instead of accepting that there was nothing I could do to make a difference in our power supply, I joined a lab working towards making solar panels. One day, my professor told me, nobody knows how electricity moves in a solar panel. As you may have noticed, I don't like being told that things are impossible. Later in undergrad, I moved to a simulation lab where we would virtually build materials on a computer to simulate how they behave. By using computational modeling, I was able to simulate and actually see just how electricity moves in a solar panel. I'd like to give you an example of what this meant to me by talking about cake. Imagine you're an aspiring baker. You've been working in a kitchen with an oven that you can't see inside, and everyone has always told you it's impossible to tell if your cake will rise or not until it's done baking and you take it out of the oven. One day, you go to another kitchen with a glass panel on the oven, and you find that while your cake is baking, you can flip on a light switch, look through the glass panel, and actually see if your cake is rising. This is how I felt the first time I saw the simulation. Now, instead of cake, I have nuclear fuel, and instead of a glass panel, I have simulation. With my glass panel, I can shrink down to the size of an atom and actually watch my fuel bake. I answer the nuclear equivalent of, will my cake rise? These questions include, can I use different ingredients? Will this recipe make my fuel perform better? Will this recipe be safer? Simulation is particularly important in the nuclear field because our ingredients are expensive. Our fuel can take 2 years to bake, and after baking, it can be dangerous for humans to handle it. So with simulation, we save money, we save time, and we improve safety. This way, we can give our planet cleaner, safer fuel in a couple of years instead of a couple of decades. So my job is to look at the chemical reactions that both help and hinder the final cake, nuclear fuel. And I use this information to help the experimental nuclear bakers design better cakes. This way, we can continue to have the electricity that we need every day while simultaneously reducing the pollutants that we release onto our planet.